Welcome back. In our top business story, Abu Dhabi's Etihad Airways carried a record 8.3 million passengers last year, 17% more than in 2010. That is an extra 1.2 million passengers on the carrier's global network, covering 82 passenger and cargo destinations. Etihad Crystal Cargo also enjoyed similar growth, carrying a record 310,000 tons, a plus of 18%. These results, CEO James Hogan said, is testament to Etihad's emergence as a formidable force in the international aviation industry. Last year, Etihad launched 8 new routes to Bangalore, the Maldives, the Seychelles, Chengdu, Düsseldorf, Tripoli, Shanghai and Nairobi. Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, or DEWA, recorded an increase of 8,718 megawatts in installed capacity power last year. That's a plus of 18% compared to 2010. And the production of desalinated water increased to 400 million gallons per day last year, up 21% compared to the 330 million gallons per day seen in 2010. According to Saeed Mohammed Al-Tayyer, the managing director and CEO of DEWA, power production has now reached over 34,000 gigawatts per hour, up nearly 3% from the level reached in 2010. And let's now look at the stock indices across the GCC. Eurozone-related event risk will likely remain a theme throughout the week. We have Gaurav Kashyap, head of DGCX Trading at Alpari Middle East DMCC, here with us to talk about the issue further. Welcome.
Glad to be back, Linda.
Good to have you here. Now tell us, this rating downgrade from last Friday, how has that affected trading in stocks and commodities this week?
Well, Linda, even though the rating downgrade was largely expected, we did see the euro sliding about 200 points against the US dollar. Now, it's not that crazy pricing action considering the magnitude of and the amount of downgrades that we experienced on Friday. But overall, we saw a rather quiet session throughout Asia and Europe. And although markets are slightly in the red, I think what we will see is we will see some fresh buying support coming into the currency and commodity markets. Gold was also slightly lower, and energy markets have also moved lower. So I think a lot of that pricing action has already filtered into the markets, and that's why we're seeing a rather stable light sell-off in trading today.
What data are you watching this week?
Well, it's going to be a very packed economic docket this week. A couple of the main points that we're going to be looking at. On Tuesday, we have Chinese growth numbers. Of course, China and India are going through a type of hard landing themselves. So the GDP data on Tuesday early morning will be very important for risk markets. Along with that, we have consumer price, which is a measure of the inflation. We're getting that from the UK and the US. Any type of drop in those numbers, we'll see those currencies weaken on the news. And of course, along with those releases, we are going to be focusing on the debt-raising activities by France and by Spain. They'll be auctioning some long-term debt on Thursday. We had a very good auction last week. Spain was able to raise about 10 billion and the yield dropped. Similarly, the Italian yields also dropped on some of their auctions. So with lower yields and higher subscriptions, we should see risk coming back into the markets.